you think? Are we gonna do this?
We'll see about that. You're a strong fighter. No wonder Her Excellency chose you. You really do have a warrior's will. Then maybe you can understand us. Captain, comrade, will you join us? We made it up. The story about the Tenryou Commission colluding with the Fatui, it didn't happen.
What? Poor Kokomi's been worried sick. You're telling us you made the whole thing up? What the heck were you thinking? This could send you right back into war with the Tenryou Commission!
Yes, that's exactly what we're hoping to achieve. Peace talks? Everyone's been drawn in by the idea. That's why the future of Watatsumi Island is at stake. What's to stop the Tenryou Commission from stabbing us in the back? And what's to stop the Raiden Shogun from issuing another Vision Hunt decree? We are the Resistance. Everything hinges on our warrior's will. We can't trust the Tenryou Commission or the Raiden Shogun, but we can put faith in ourselves. Surely you agree with that?
His point does kinda make sense, but something about it doesn't feel right to Paimon. Yeah, everything you said just now was pure speculation, wasn't it? Are you seriously willing to make up a wild rumor and ruin the peace everyone's worked so hard for, all because of some imaginary situation that may not even happen?
Don't take that tone with me, acting like you're above all of this. What would you understand? For the sake of victory, we embody the warrior's will to the fullest. You understand? We were all in. Now they're suddenly trying to tell us that none of it matters anymore? You'd have me just put down my weapon and start living like an ordinary person, but how can I? How can I when every time I close my eyes, I see the faces of the friends we lost in battle? Every time I see them there in my mind's eye, it reminds me that I can never forgive the Tenryou Commission and never forgive the Vision Hunt decree. I guess you're not one of us. Well, whatever. Go ahead and tell Sango Nomiya if you want, but you're too late to stop us now.
Too late? What do you mean? Darn. Doesn't seem like he's gonna answer that one. What are we gonna do? This is really serious. We need to give Kokomi the full story right away! A few things. The whole thing about the Tenryou Commission colluding with the Fatui is baloney. They made it all up. They wanted the peace talks to break down so that they could carry on fighting the war. And they said it's too late to try and stop them, no matter what we do.
I see. I'm fine. Don't worry. This is my fault. If only I'd perceived what they were feeling earlier, it never would have come to this. I think I understand what Kozin means when he says it's too late. The talks don't begin until tomorrow, but both sides have already sent their guards to the location. They are responsible for making sure the area is safe and secure. I highly suspect that one of Kozin's pro-war co-conspirators will have infiltrated the guards with an intent to reignite hostilities tomorrow during the negotiations.
Well, that's no good. Do you want us to head over there now and switch out the guards?
That won't work. Firstly, the act of bringing a new team of guards to a neutral negotiation site will put both sides on high alert. It would almost certainly push the pro-war faction into taking action. They would attack the Tenryo Commission's guards, and we'd be in danger of war breaking out once again. Not to mention that we have no idea how many of Watatsumi Island's soldiers are involved in this plot. If we change the guard in haste, we face the issue of not knowing who to trust.
Sounds like a really tricky situation. So is there really nothing we can do about it?
Don't let it worry you. What's done is done. Now it falls to me to devise a counter-plan. These soldiers crossed the line, but the blame is not theirs alone. Whatever happens, I will find a way to ensure they do not come to harm. Let's meet here again tomorrow.
Every journey has its final day. Don't rush.
Well, the peace talks are upon us. How do you feel? Prepared? Here, take this. These are some directives I wrote last night. These negotiations are complex, to be sure, but I thought about it carefully and realized there are no more than 187 possible outcomes. I took the liberty of writing them all down. This way, you will be able to adapt with speed, no matter how the events play out.
Whoa, this is huge! Let's see. Fierce dispute, violent escalation, armed revolt, coordinated attack, seize hostages. Wow, there are so many! But you've thought of a solution to each one! Paimon suddenly feels a lot less nervous.
Glad to hear it. These peace talks are quite exceptional. It is a major step forward both for Watatsumi Island and the Shogunate. But any amount of dissatisfaction within our ranks weakens our negotiating position. We will have to work all the harder if we want these talks to be a success. As the Divine Priestess of Watatsumi Island, this responsibility is, of course, mine to shoulder. But would you be willing to lend me a hand? Excellent. Okay, time to head off. been a while, Kujo-Sara. I believe the last time we met was on the battlefield.
Yes, where you dealt my forces quite the devastating blow. But before we go any further, what are you doing here?
That's right. He's here to bear witness to the proceedings. He experienced the war between us firsthand, and has made an enormous contribution towards securing the peace we have today. I couldn't think of a more suitable candidate.
Seems reasonable. Then let's get straight into it. The first item is the maritime administration issue. During wartime, we restricted fishing rights for Watatsumi vessels in Narukami waters. We intend to remove these restrictions, but going forward, any of your vessels that fish in our waters will have to pay taxes in accordance with Narukami legislation in order to bring their catch back to Watatsumi.
That's fine, but if they're paying taxes, they should also be entitled to protection from the Tenryou Commission while in your waters. Any losses they sustain due to issues of public security will need to be compensated by the Tenryou Commission.
Accepted. Let's add that to the peace treaty. I can assure you that your vessels will be quite safe in our hands.
Negotiations seem to be going pretty smoothly.
The next item has to do with the movement of people and military authority. In the past, our people have been subjected to lengthy interrogations on arrival in Watatsumi, and the same has been true for your people on arrival to Narukami. Economic cooperation between our islands has suffered greatly as a consequence. Few merchants are now willing to engage in inter-island commerce. Since the war is now over, I propose that we have the Yashiro Commission appoint a business council to oversee trade between our two islands.
The problem there is that trade is a reciprocal affair. We'll need to involve merchants from both sides in this process if it is to succeed. We cannot give the Yashiro Commission full authority.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Watatsumi Island facing severe shortages of many essential goods at the moment? Having the Yashiro Commission organize everything centrally would work in your favor.
True, we're experiencing some shortages, but we will recover in due course. Between the diverse range of goods we can produce ourselves and our strong trade links with other areas, we are capable of sourcing everything we need. Not to mention that your proposal would require separate talks with the Kamisato clan. If they've yet to sanction it, I believe you are going beyond the remit of the Tenryou Commission's authority.
Let's leave that aside for now, then. On to the military question. Watatsumi Island's forces will need to come back under the jurisdiction of the Tenryou Commission.
That just isn't feasible. Not in the short term, at least.
With all due respect, feasibility doesn't come into it. The Tenryou Commission alone has ultimate responsibility for Inazuma's national security. We cannot allow Watatsumi Island to be the sole exception to this rule indefinitely.
You Kujo scum! Colluding with the Fatui isn't low enough for you already. You just want to take everything away from us. Comrades, never trust the Kujo! Let's get them!
Protect Madame Kujo!
Number 16. No, wait. 67? Or is it 73? Which one is it?
The last one, but hold off for the moment. Stand down, Tadakatsu! The situation has changed. Please stand by for further orders. Rest assured, I am fully aware of your concerns, but I will deal with the situation from here. Madam Kujo, this is rather serious. I believe you owe Watatsumi Island an explanation?
Excuse me for a moment. Nobody makes another move until I have finished investigating. You two, here, now! Speak! Collusion with the Fatui? Is this true?
I wouldn't exactly call it collusion as such.
We were approached by a few Fatui. They mentioned a potential cooperation to keep the war against Watatsumi Island going. At the time, I felt like we could give it a try. After all, there'd be nothing to lose.
But we were extremely careful. We didn't agree to anything. We just said they could maybe start by heading to Watatsumi Island and stirring things up a little. Then we'd see how it went. With respect, ma'am, there was no collusion. It was just a one-off conversation. How anyone from Watatsumi Island even found out about it, I have no idea.
That's enough. When we return, there will be consequences. Might I remind you that this is the Fatui? Have you completely forgotten what they did to us? You should be having no interaction with them whatsoever, let alone entertaining offers of cooperation. So, what did they want out of it?
The Fatui's main forces have already left Inazuma. The few who approached us seemed like they wanted to settle a score for their boss.
Oh, her subordinates. So they're out for revenge. They want to keep Inazuma in a state of turmoil. One day, I will hunt them down. Every last one. We bear responsibility for this issue. My sincere apologies. I have my own negligence to blame for this state of affairs. Please, grant us another chance to continue the peace talks.
But of course, Madame Kujo. I have every confidence in your ability to resolve this situation. For the time being, however, there is evidently some discord within the Tenryou Commission's ranks. I would therefore not feel comfortable releasing Watatsumi Island's forces into your command at this time.
It seems that I must acquiesce. I will lay this issue aside for now, but we shall revisit it as soon as the Tenryou Commission has resolved our internal issues. As for the trade issues we raised, I will discuss options with the Yashiro Commission and make sure both sides have ample participation in the final arrangement.
Seems like Kujo-sara's on the defensive now. These negotiations should be smooth sailing from here on out.
I never knew the grand strategist of Watatsumi Island was a skilled negotiator, as well as a formidable commander. I hope that when we meet again, we can continue these sit-down discussions. Settling our differences on the battlefield is rather taxing. I think we can leave things there for today. Once I get back, I will conduct a thorough investigation into the Tenryou Commission's internal issues.
I should inform you that we took out a Fatui camp recently. I suspect that before long, they will attempt to re-establish contact with your people in the hope of procuring some assistance. I recommend you say and do nothing on the matter for the time being, lest you tip them off and they disappear. Wait for them to come to you. That way, you can capture them all in one fell swoop.
I will bear this in mind. Thank you. I shall take my leave now. Until we meet again.
Your Excellency, we...
Let's discuss it after we get back.
Your Excellency, you knew?
I have already been informed on the reasons for your actions. You believe the Tenryou Commission to be untrustworthy and sought to sabotage the peace talks and reignite the war. Fortunately, the end result exposed and thwarted a secret Tenryou Commission plot. Yet, this was purely incidental, and the end certainly did not justify your means.
But Your Excellency, so many comrades have sacrificed themselves in the line of duty. If we stop now, aren't all of our efforts going to waste? I want to keep fighting. I want ultimate victory, even if it means I have to pay the ultimate price.
I understand your sentiments, But you cannot simply impose your will and expect others to bear the consequences. During the war, there were highs and there were lows, and in the end, there was a glorious victory. For you, perhaps the experience was one of great excitement. But you saw nothing of the countless others who will remember the war quite differently. Most people suffered terribly through each day. Watatsumi Island's people yearn for peace because they have long since given all they had to the war effort. They are tired of treading water and don't need you dragging them back underneath once again.
But...
I understand, I do. And the fault is not yours alone. It was largely an oversight on my part. I taught you to nurture a warrior's will, but never how to let it go.
It's not your fault, Your Excellency. It was ours. Our selfishness. Either way, we are ready to accept sentencing under martial law.
Very well. Then I hereby declare... that as of today, I am founding a new secret corps of the army. This division will be responsible for keeping Watatsumi Island safe and secure, neutralizing any and all threats to the peace of our island. You and your comrades will all be welcome to join, but be warned, the training will be grueling. Perseverance and grit will be in high demand.
Your Excellency, what are you saying?
I have concluded from today's peace talks that the Kujo clan cannot achieve absolute peace and stability in the near future. Many seek peace, but there are still those who pursue war. It is right that Watatsumi Island moves towards peace, but we must still retain a defensive capacity. Those whose warrior's will is alive and well, I invite you to embark on the most challenging training regimen of your lives. I don't want to hear from any of you again until all of you can take on 2 shogunate samurai at a time.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
All right, dismissed. Go and report to General Goro. And remember, there can be no more insubordination. And if there is, there will be no more leniency from me, whatever reasons you may have.
Yes, ma'am. From now on, we will focus on our training. Thank you for this opportunity, Your Excellency. We'll report to General Goro right away.
I think that's finally everything in hand. I can feel my energy levels starting to drop. Meet you back at the hideout for some rest? Thank you for everything. With your help, peace has been restored on Watatsumi Island once more. Recovering. Slowly, but surely. I should be raring to go before too long. Today was a reminder that I don't cope well in situations with lots of people. I've improved, but I still get nervous when more than a handful of people are involved. I think I might get Goro to handle the negotiations next time. Do you think so? To be honest, I'm still a long way off what's expected of a divine priestess. In the past, I was concerned only with winning the war, restoring peace, and making sure everyone could live a happy life. But I realize now that wasn't going far enough. People have all kinds of aspirations, and just as many measures of happiness. I have a long way to go, but that's okay. If I can't make the journey in one giant leap, I'll just have to settle for taking it one small step at a time. In short, I've still got some maturing to do. Could you stay here on Watatsumi Island? To keep me company for a while longer?
Hi, Catherine. It's us. Was there something we could help with?
Yes. I'm afraid that I have another task that requires your assistance. The Adventurers Guild has recently received a commission directly from the Tenryou Commission. The assignment is both urgent and dangerous. After assessing the assignment, the Guild has concluded that seasoned adventurers are required. Naturally, you came to mind.
Just another day on the job for us!
Allow me to explain. The Tenryou Commission recently issued an arrest warrant for a young Oni by the name of Arataki Ito.
An Oni? You mean those big, tough-looking guys with horns on their heads?
That's correct. This particular Oni is quite vocal and audacious, so he already has quite the reputation on the streets. That said, he has never been caught up in major trouble of any kind. So it came as a surprise to learn that he has recently been accused of stealing things, and sometimes even whisking away the people themselves. But it doesn't end there. When the Tenryou Commission dispatched a Doshin to apprehend him, he assaulted the Doshin before making a getaway with his accomplices.
So let Paimon guess. It's up to us to bring this Oni in. No problemo! This does sound like a job for the Traveler. He'll be back with that Oni in no time.
I have complete confidence you will succeed. However, please exercise caution. This Oni also happens to hold a vision, and is the leader of an organization known as the Arataki Gang.
On second thought, Paimon will leave the fighting to you. The last place Paimon wants to be is in a gang fight.
We are still investigating Arataki Ito's potential motives behind these incidents, as well as his current whereabouts. But please ask around in the streets as well. There will likely be others more familiar with Ito's circumstances than I am, who can provide you with useful information. Thank you. I will await your return. Ad Astra Avisask.
Well, let's start asking around on the streets. Hopefully we'll learn a little more about this Arataki Ito guy and figure out where he might have run off to.
Arataki Ito? Yeah, I've heard of the guy. Word is he did something monumentally stupid, then ran off before they could catch him. And to be completely honest, I was a little surprised when I first heard it. Okay, well, I mean, not that surprised.
Wait, you mean he already had a bad reputation?
No, not exactly. He's just very overbearing in everything he does. Big and brash and always making a ruckus. So, on the one hand, he's a larger-than-life kind of guy. But on the other hand, he's emotionally volatile. When he's in a good mood, he's as high as a kite. But when he gets upset, he gets completely enraged. I don't personally see him as a bad guy, but I guess I wouldn't put it past him to get all riled up and lose control. I'm afraid that I'm not too sure myself. I keep a pretty good eye on what's happening in the city, and as far as I can tell, he just idles the days away. When someone asks for it, he's willing to lend a helping hand, but other than that, he's just out making a scene with the kids on the street or his gang. If I had to guess, his lack of income finally drove him to do something more drastic to make ends meet.
Is it just Paimon, or is this Ito fellow starting to sound pretty weird?
I'm afraid that I don't have much else to tell you. He tends to spend his time with people a little more lively than myself. Perhaps you could try asking around some more.
Okay, thanks.
Arataki Ito? Oh yeah. I heard about that whole thing. I'm sure it must have been a mix-up on the Tenryou Commission's end. He could never do anything so dastardly.
Huh? How can you be so sure? Is he really as trustworthy as all that?
No, perhaps you misunderstand me. When I said he could never do anything dastardly, I meant maybe a story will explain it better. So, he used to spend a lot of time playing rock, paper, scissors and hide and seek with the kids on the streets. Kids, being kids, aren't exactly the most difficult to outsmart. I'm sure you can see what I'm getting at here. He used to lose all the time, sometimes catastrophically.
On purpose, though, right?
No, not at all. The one time I saw him win, he started jumping around and yelling, "I won! I finally won! I'm unbeatable!" And so on. Then he took the kid's candy as his prize and ate it right there in front of him.
Ugh, that's just plain wrong.
He did take it way too far that time. The poor kid started crying, so I stepped in and gave Ito a scolding. He was pretty quick to admit that he was fully in the wrong, and it wasn't long before the kid had stopped crying and was laughing and playing again as if nothing had ever happened. In fact, the children quite like playing with him because he's always serious about the stakes and never throws a game on purpose. So, I suppose what I'm trying to say is a guy who can't even beat kids at a children's game really gonna be capable of these kinds of diabolical deeds?
Huh. He doesn't sound like a bad guy at all. In fact, he kind of sounds like a man of integrity.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. Still, the Tenryou Commission's evidence against him is supposed to be irrefutable. So, I'm not trying to condone his actions or anything. If he really has messed up big time, then he should face the consequences just like anyone else.
Thanks for the info. We'll keep asking around.
Arataki Ito. Of course I know him. We've been trying to apprehend him recently. We know he's already left Inazuma City, but with no clues to follow, we have no choice but to commission others for help, including the Adventurers Guild.
Catherine says that Arataki Ito hasn't done anything seriously bad before, so it seems pretty strange. Paimon's curious. Is there any evidence of all this stuff he's accused of?
Yes, of course. Otherwise, we'd never have put so many people on the case. For starters, most thieves will try to devise a way to conceal their identity, but for an Oni, the horns are a dead giveaway. I mean, the whole city could have recognized it was him. At first, he was just one of our suspects, but when we went to investigate, he personally confessed to everything and started trying to provoke the officers. What's most frustrating is that he then managed to escape along with his entire gang. He must have been planning the whole thing right from the start. Of course he did. Whether material or psychological, there is plenty of evidence either way. He's never had a Mora to his name his entire life, and he's never kept down a real job. Word is that he also takes care of someone in his gang, and that the burden of it takes quite the toll on him. After scrounging for a living all these years, maybe he thought that being the bad guy would be an easier ride. As for his psychological motives, it's a bit embarrassing to talk about, but we confiscated his vision during the Vision Hunt Decree. At the time, Arataki Ito put up quite a fight. It took a huge amount of manpower and resources, and in the end we had to enlist the help of Kujo Sara to finally secure his vision. The vision hunt was a mistake, but we never expected that he would go to such extreme lengths to take revenge on us.
He does sound a little unstable, just like people have been saying.
If the two of you are able to capture Arataki Ito, please bring him straight here. We'll handle him from there.
Thanks for all the info. Too bad we still don't know where he could have run off to. We already got word on the street, so maybe it's time to talk to a real specialist. Paimon remembers that there's a detective agency here in Inazuma. Maybe we can try asking there. Hello, we'd like to ask some questions about Arataki Ito.
Oh, him again. Sure. I have answers. We've already done some investigating for the Tenryou Commission. But first, do you have enough Moro to cover the fee? I've heard all about your travels. After everything you've been through, I'm sure you understand the way these sorts of things work.
How much more are we talking about here?
A one-off payment of 397,000 Mora, up front. Plus a further 5% of your Adventures Guild remuneration as my commission, if Arataki Ito is successfully caught and brought to justice.
Whoa! That's crazy expensive! How did you even come up with the price that high?
Hold on. I wasn't finished. It just so happens the initial fee has already been paid in full by the Tenryou Commission. All you'll need to pay is the small commission fee. And, as for that amount, I'll settle things with the Adventures Guild once we have Ito. So, from the way I see it, you guys are getting a pretty nice deal. Now then, to give you the full picture in this case, we must first recount a well-known Inazuman fairy tale. A long, long time ago, in a village lost to time, there lived a crimson Oni and a blue Oni. They were the best of friends. The crimson Oni looked fierce, but was gentle like the humans. The blue Oni looked human, but was reclusive, like an Oni. The crimson Oni wished to befriend the humans, but they were scared and threw beans at him whenever he came near. So the blue Oni said to the crimson Oni,
Akka, I'll cause trouble in the village. You'll come and stop me. Then the humans will accept you.
As planned, the crimson Oni chased the blue Oni away. The crimson Oni's deeds spread throughout the land, and people finally accepted him. But when the crimson Oni went to tell the blue Oni the good news, he was gone and left only a letter behind.
I went traveling. Don't come find me or they'll treat you as a naughty little Oni. But don't worry about me. No matter where I go, we'll always be friends.
Huh? That's it? What about the little blue Oni? Whatever happened to him?
I suppose the blue Oni simply disappeared, never to be seen again. Only the crimson Oni remain now.
But the blue Oni was just an innocent little kid!
Of course it does. Otherwise, I wouldn't go through all the trouble of telling it. One interpretation is that the story is actually broadly based on historical events and that Arataki Ito is, in fact, a descendant of the Crimson Oni. What I'm trying to tell you is that the Oni have sacrificed a lot in the past in order to finally integrate themselves into human society. But there are still some volatile personality traits in the Oni bloodline. Every generation of Oni inherits these traits. So while Arataki Ito has never been known to commit a wrongful act in the past, can we ever completely rule out the possibility of him one day allowing this side of him to take over?
But how could he do
That's a very old story. Nobody knows how long it's been since the Blue Oni disappeared. We can only assume that they have long since died out, in which case, it would be quite a stretch to say it still counts as a betrayal at this point. Besides, the suspect has already confessed. What is there left to discuss? According to my investigation, he was headed southwest. I would bet he's already made it to Yashiori Island by now. The Tenryou Commission is unable to enter territory controlled by Sangonomiya troops. No doubt that's the reason Arataki Ito chose to flee in that direction. Don't mention it. I'm just doing my duty.
Wait, Paimon still has a question. If Arataki Ito has given in to his bad side, won't that mean he's extra mean and violent now?
I could only assume so. Judging from his previous bouts, he is a skilled fighter with a lot of brute strength. Whether or not you'll be able to handle him, that I do not know.
Okay, but what's up with people throwing beans at Oni? What use is that?
Ah, yes. Now that you mention it, I seem to recall that Arataki Ito is allergic to beans. In fact, all Oni will avoid beans, but especially Ito. I heard that just touching a bean is enough to incapacitate him. If you could weaken him a bit by triggering his allergies, perhaps you'd have better luck subduing him.
It's fine. He's the bad guy, remember?
It just so happens that I have a bag of beans right here. I was planning to use them to make some porridge, but I think you will find a better use for them. Of course, I will charge the Adventurers Guild a fair and reasonable rate for the beans.
Sneaky! But also, thanks! Let's head to Yashiori Island and start looking for Ito!
Please speak.
According to Detective Sango, Ito should be somewhere around here. Catherine mentioned that he has a vision. Why not see if you can track him down using elemental sight? Look, footprints! There's a camp here, but nothing stands out as particularly noteworthy. Let's keep moving forward. Wait! Could that be him? Is that Arataki Ito? He doesn't seem to be looking this way. Perfect. Let's try the beans Detective Sango gave us. It'll save a lot of hassle if we can avoid a fight.
Hey, who's sneaking around over there? Come on, show yourself.
Yikes! We've been spotted! Wait! Could that... He doesn't seem to be... It'll save a lot...
Bean!
Are you okay? What should we
Don't be alarmed. It's just my my allergies acting up. I've got it under control. It's all right. I got this. I just gotta tough it out. I can take it. I can take it. Who am I kidding? I gotta catch my breath here. Whatever it is you want, it's gonna have to wait. I need a moment. Need a moment. Woo, that's better. That sure took a lot out of me, though. Hey, why'd you have to be so mean, huh? Surprise attacking me like that. Hey, whoa, take it easy. Just stop with the beans, okay? So you're here to bring me in. How in the world did you find me all the way out here anyway? Well, whatever. If you think I'm going back with you, you can forget it. I'd walk away if I were you. I pack a mean punch, you know. I don't want to hurt any regular folks like you.
That's pretty big talk considering all the beans we have.
Yep, that's right. Me, all by myself. Nobody else. As boss of the Arataki gang, I gotta nab a little food and drink when we're running low. That's only natural, right?
Yeah, but nabbing people? That's taking it a bit far, don't you think?
Not when their families will pay good mora to see them again. Easy pickings. And the extra mora means I can, give some to my gang to spend on themselves. Hey, what's with all the questions? Like I said, I'm not going back with you, so stop wasting everybody's time.
No way, mister! We've accepted a commission to bring you back!
What did you say, little one? Go on. Say it to my face.
Well, mostly he took a commission to bring you back.
Looks like you aren't gonna let this drop. In that case, we...
Uncle Ito! Don't run now. Careful or you'll fall. What's taking you so long? You said we were gonna have a beetle fight today. Come on, you promised.
Yeah, that's right. Still going ahead. But you see, I've been out here for ages, and I still can't find a beetle that I like. So just give Uncle Ito a little more time, okay?
Huh? Who are they? Are they your friends?
Yeah, that's right. I told them not to come, but what can I say? They were just too worried about me. It's because of a little thing called, prestige. Yeah, because of all the prestige Uncle Ito has.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Come on, just play along. Leave the kid out of this.
Uncle Ito, you don't look so good. You look like you're about to fall over.
That's because Uncle Ito bumped his noggin on a tree branch while looking for a beetle. Uh-oh! It's all good, though. These horns are rock solid.
Okay, if you say so. Granny and I will keep heading back now. Don't be too long.
Yep, I'll be right there. Hope you're ready to lose today.
Who were those people?
The old lady was Granny Oni. She's the one who took me in and raised me. And the kid's name is Daisuke. I took him in just a while back. They're both like family to me. They escaped with me out this way, along with my boys from the Arataki gang. If I didn't bring them with me, the Tenryou Commission would be knocking on their doors for sure.
Right. But if you care about them so much, then you shouldn't have done all that stuff that made them worry about you in the first place.
Listen, how about we make a deal? You two let me go wrap things up with Daisuke, and once we're done battling beetles, the two of us will settle things with a duel. If you win, I'll come quietly. You can take me back to Inazuma City, and you won't hear a peep out of me. Why? 'Cause I'm an Oni of my word. I'll just tell little Daisuke that my friends and I need to step outside for a moment. That way you won't worry. Cool?
What should we do? There is the kid to consider.
Oh, it's on! I like your style. All right, but first things first. I need to find an Oni Kabuto to battle with. I've been looking here for ages and haven't found myself a winner yet, so it's time to try somewhere else. Come with me. Saves you worrying that I might skedaddle. You guys have seen Oni Kabuto out in the wild, right? Even though they might look menacing on the outside, they're big softies on the inside. Most of the time, they're just sitting there doing nothing. But let me tell ya, once the Oni Kabuto start fighting, they won't let anything get in their way. The grand game of beetle fighting is a match where your beetle tries to flip the other beetle onto its back. Hey, it's not just some kid's game, okay? There's way more to it than that. I have taken part in more beetle fights than you would believe. At least 800. I may have even crossed the 1,000 mark by this point. Anyway, after a while, you can tell a beetle's fighting potential just by looking at its shape, size, and the patterns on its body. But it's not just about all the physical stuff. Oh no, your Oni Kabuto's gotta be in the right headspace as well. If it's not up for a fight or doesn't have the guts, well, then it's game over. Boy, are you two lucky you ran into me. When it comes to beetles, I'm the expert that the experts go to. I'll show you all you need to know.
But we're not the ones that will be playing. We're just here to keep an eye on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, anyway, not a problem. You two might think I'm just tooting my own horns here, but just you wait. I'll make you a beetle expert in no time. And by the way, that kid has one tough beetle. We can't underestimate it. You have to find a real lean, mean beetle warrior.
Okay, so he's not the sharpest horn on the Oni.
Okay, let me see. There. Let's head to that hill. I'll bet my bottom moral we're gonna find some major league Oni Kabuto hiding out there. Just our luck. Well, hopefully that'll scare all the wimpy beetles away. And oh, darn it, they're all gone. Let's hop down from here and take a look. My gut's telling me that there's a king-size beetle just below. Beefy... Look! You see all those purple things? It's a whole pile of Oni Kabuto! Now that's what I'm talking about! Huh? Oh, what the... Ah, no, not lavender melons. Well, even a pro like myself can make a mistake from time to time. It's okay, just gotta roll with the punches. Let's try somewhere else. This is the one! This is the one! See? As long as you're in my company, you're guaranteed to find yourself an Oni Kabuto. Yeah, it's on the smaller side, but size isn't everything in a beetle fight. Just let the expert explain, okay? What smaller beetles lack in strength, they make up for in agility. They usually got a whole bunch of sick moves just ready to whip out when the right moment comes. Listen, you can never see a beetle's true energy until it's in the ring. It might look a bit young and docile, but that's got its advantages. Haven't you ever heard the saying, don't judge a book by its cover? Young beetles that have never fought before always go all out in their first fight. Older beetles that have already been through the wars tend to just cower in the corner the moment they see a strong opponent. Hey, didn't I say not to worry? Come on, just have a little faith, would ya? My experience is telling me that this Oni Kabuto was spawned to be a champion.
Right here! Look what Paimon found! If we're gonna battle some beetles, then Paimon wants in! It's not like we have anything else to do. When you hop down, some Paimon flew off somewhere else nearby and found this one. What do you think, Ito? It's big and strong and looks like a real fighter. It matches everything you said about a good fighter beetle. Bet the one you guys found must be way bigger.
Oh, you got some experience catching beetles too, huh?
Nope. This is the first one Paimon's ever caught.
Well, looks like you got a real knack for this. You'll be a fellow beetle fighting expert in no time. I mean, not as good as me, but still.
Oh, so overall not that good then.
Anyway, great. With both your beetle and mine, I can tell this'll finally be the one. This time, I'm gonna win for sure. Well, you know, that's just life, man. There are so many people in this world who are talented, passionate, but it's no guarantee that things will go their way. So many unrelated things have to come together at once in just the right way to make victory happen. There's this word that really sums it up nicely, actually. It's, coincidence.
As in pure luck? Huh. Guess it makes no difference whether we have Paimon's beetle or not then. Might as well just...
Whoa. let's not do anything rash here, you know? I think both of these fine beetles have a shot at winning. Let's just hang on to them and give them both a try. A true warrior never leaves a good beetle behind. Anyway, time to head back and get this show started. Man, I am psyched for this. Woo! Let's go!
Finally, you're back! Can we start our beetle fight now?
Yeah, sure thing, buddy. But you better watch out. I brought a real winner back this time.
Don't worry, I'm not scared of your beetle. Go, Stripey Ghost!
I've got this fight in the bag. Let's go, Nimble Ninja!
Huh? When did you come up with that name?
Come on, you can take him, little guy!
That's right! Finish it!
Oh, no! My little Nimble Ninja!
Ha! Looks like I win again!
Dang it! Oh, it's my 7th loss in a row.
Stripey Ghost is invincible! Even Uncle Ito can't beat him.
I won't forget this. I'll beat you next time, I swear! All right, Paimon, you're up. Time to give Crimson Cyclone a shot. Maybe it'll end this losing streak of mine.